The following program is sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.
Welcome to another project here on Building Wisconsin. I'm Stuart Keith. And on today's show, we're going to learn more about the Wisconsin Regional Training Partnership Big STEP. So let's get started with today's show. Earl, this is a beautiful historic building. I always find it interesting, the old architecture. It's just beautiful to me.
Well, we're lucky to be here. We've been here since 2006, and it's given us a space that we need to really operate at a scalable level.
Sure, and here, of course, is the center of excellence. And this location happens to be in Milwaukee, and it's home of the Wisconsin Regional Training Partnership Big STEP. Now, that's quite a mouthful, but let's walk through exactly what that is and what you mean to our communities.
Well, really, we're a collaboration of nonprofits that focus on workforce and making the workforce more economic development friendly. We have a reverse model. We focus on sectors of the economy, work statewide. Really, our job is to start with the industry side first, find where the jobs and careers are, and then focus backwards with our partners in the community and the workforce system to find eligible applicants to fill the needs.
And what's unique about that, at least the way I understand it, it's almost a reverse model, historically speaking. I mean, you think about it, there's always the push to train workers and then hope that they can go out and find a job.
Right.
You guys are working closely with the manufacturing sector, as you said, the building trades, the utilities, establishing openings or determining what those openings are, and then it's up to you guys to go find actual workers for that.
I mean, it just makes sense to us to start where the jobs are. There's a ton of people that want to go to work, so why don't we help make it easier for industry to find those people and find people that want to go to work?
Yeah, it makes total sense, and as I understand it, the word's getting out there because this is becoming a huge success.
Correct. As a matter of fact, the Wisconsin Regional Training Partnership means that we're a statewide organization based in Milwaukee, and we're starting to really develop other parts of the state with our industry partners, including Madison.
Well, it keeps on growing, so let's take this opportunity to walk through your facility and learn more about the program.
Great, come on along. Here's one of our training rooms here.
Oh, so it's really just like what you'd expect, a classroom setting.
Correct.
Okay, so if I am looking for employment, I want to go through your organization. How do I find out about it? How are you finding students?
Well, referrals come in a number of ways. One, the trades themselves. Trades employers will refer candidates who don't qualify for their crafts or for their company. And so they'll send them over here. The other way is friends and family referrals and walk-ins. I'd say over half our referrals come that way. So friends and family, the industries themselves, and then we also do orientation sessions to the community at large.
There's general information sessions?
General information sessions.
And so if I'm a student here, what am I going to learn? What are you going to help me with here?
Well, since you're preparing for an exam for that craft, we have a few things we go over. For instance, there's basic math and algebra. There's spatial relations, mechanical relations. There's reading comprehension and language arts. So those are some of the basics that employers are looking for at a certain competent level.
Okay, and so if I'm a student, I come in here, I kind of get assessed. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
And see what level I'm at,
Right.
what specific skills I need some work on,
Right.
and then you guys are going to help me with that.
So the first day you walk in here, we do an assessment to kind of gauge the level, academic level where you're at, and assessment level, and then kind of work from there, depending on which pathway you're going. So if you're going to a construction craft, there's a certain level you need to attain. But the point is, we assess you up front. We know where to start with you and how long it's going to take for you to become competent for that profession.
Sure. And so once you determine what my specific needs are, then I join the other students. How many could be in here?
There's a 4-to-1 student-to-instructor ratio.
That's a great ratio.
Right. But the beauty of it is we're open all day for this program. I think we start at 8 a.m. and it goes to 8 p.m. at night. So it's flexible around work hours too.
Oh, that's awesome. You're really catering to the needs out there and really giving an honest effort to try to get these people who need jobs, get the jobs. And again, I love that you're working with the employers because you know specifically what their needs are.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to train them specifically to get there, or at least to get into a specific trade. Because what we're talking about here is you're helping them pass the entrance exam to the apprenticeship.
Yep, they become eligible candidates for those apprenticeship.
So you really customize it for each individual. It almost guarantees success for them. I like that.
The success rate for anyone who goes through this process is about 80%. All these trades and all these industries have said, we really want to reach out and find qualified applicants who are ready to go to work and ready to develop careers. And so we're that facilitator to help that happen.
That's the practical side we're talking about here. Books, computers. What about hands-on? Do you do any of that?
Absolutely. We're developing pre-employment certificate programs. So there's a hands-on component, which I'll show you. So down here's where the hands-on training happens. So we have a mock-up house here. We also use this lower level. It's about 8,000 square feet, where we're able to facilitate a variety of training programs.
Yeah, this is really amazing. You pull up to the building, you don't think it's this large, but there's ample opportunity to learn about all the different trades. And along those lines, how specific do you get with your training?
So there's really two types of training. Earlier we talked about the academic or aptitude training. And then there's also the pre-employment training or certificate programs we've developed with the trades and with employers, which gets very specific.
Okay, and although you're getting very specific, you're not trying to substitute this training for the apprenticeship that's out there in the building trades.
No, as a matter of fact, all of the 41 different curriculums we have for pre-employment were developed by the trades or industry.
So you're working hand in hand with them. So this is a huge benefit for them as well.
Right, as a matter of fact, it's the ladder into their programs.
And then we talk about partnerships, sure, with the trades, but what about the other partners that help make this whole organization run?
I like to reference it as an ecosystem of workforce development. Outside of the trades and employers, we work with the various workforce investment boards, depending on the regions we're working in. Then there's the technical college system and their local municipalities. But then there's also job training programs or community-based organizations, especially on the side of recruiting people and getting them to help with those deficiencies. So when they come to us, they've met the requirements of the basics of what we're looking for, and then we can help the next step. So really kind of a finishing point model into the beginning point into industry.
Sure, and the end step is the employer themselves.
Absolutely.
Even though you're beginning with the employers to find out what their needs are, ultimately you want to place these employees there, these workers there. Who are some of them that you're working with?
Well, actually, Harley-Davidson, GE, SPX, on the utility side, We Energies, and then of course on the trade side, general contractors like Fendorf,
sure,
or Mortensen or Hunzinger.
And even within the communities, I understand MMSD as well.
And we've done, for the past 10 years, a lot of work with MSD and their contractors who awarded work on their capital projects.
And what's interesting, the deeper we go into this, you see that you're an integral aspect within all of our communities here. And so when you drive by a project, I hope the viewers now, they'll realize, hey, you'll understand what's going on. Who are these workers, the behind the scenes, and how it's benefiting. I mean, when we talk about building Wisconsin benefiting our state as a whole, it really is getting down to the grassroots, the people who are actually doing the work building. This is what you're about.
And what it takes to get on that project or to get into that industry or to get in that career pathway.
Wow, we're a little renovation going on here. What exactly is going on?
Yeah, that's an understatement. So what we have here is kind of the program in action at the highest level. And we talked earlier about the opportunity the process, and then from there, where it goes. Well, this is where it goes in a lot of cases. An individual took advantage of an opportunity to get into a craft, got an apprenticeship, became a journey person, and now is a business owner, and this is their project.
And the person that we're talking about is Rashawn Spivey?
Right, Rashawn Spivey through Local 75, and now owner of Hero Plumbing.
Sure, so he's really taken it full circle. I mean, throughout the show, we were talking about fulfilling a need and getting employment for people out there based upon employers' needs out there. Well, he obviously took advantage of the opportunity to take it one step further.
Now he is the employer.
Sure.
So it's a happy moment for us when we see any of our past alums or graduates or participants move on to that level where we're now responding to their needs.
Well, it's awesome, and this is a great example. And to me, it seems like you're going much deeper than, hands-on training or book smart.
Right.
To me, it's life skills, because here's a great example. Here's some plans. You're dealing with the city, you're dealing with inspectors. There's a lot of communication that's required to have a successful end result.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I referenced the aptitude testing, the training up front, but really it's the ability to communicate. You can learn as much as you want, but you can't communicate that and understand and comprehend it. So we're hoping we're able to achieve that on the front end. So when someone becomes a Rashawn Spivey and a business owner, this is easy to do.
Why do you think it is so successful? What's the secret to your success?
It's what I said earlier. It's really having the ability to know what's needed on the employer side and what's on the industry side, and then having competent instructors, the support of industry in those trades, telling us exactly, again, what they're looking for, and then also be able to find people who want to do it and really have that persistence.
Yeah, not necessarily in that order, because to me, I see the individual, the ones that we're talking about that you're training and helping to get employment. It's up to them, because it's not a handout here. I mean, you're lending a helping hand.
Absolutely.
And showing them and giving them the skills that they need to carry on, but they still have to work.
Right. So think about it. You're getting some pre-skills through us. You get into your apprenticeship. You're gonna, you get the best training in the world coming through your apprenticeship, and then based on the individual and also based on the skills they've learned, they're able to take it to another level.
Sure. Now, obviously, to see a success story like this, it isn't free, and none of this training is free.
No.
How do you guys get your funding?
We're what's known as a blended funding model. We are funded through the various sector industries we're working with, but we're able to leverage that with the public workforce investment. Sometimes it's municipal funding, sometimes it's other public dollars, private and philanthropic as well. So we really blend that model so that a person can walk through our doors and get exactly what they need to achieve what those employers are laying out.
Yeah, well, I think that this, you say it's a blended funding model. I think it's just a blended model altogether,
Well,
because as we
yes.
mentioned earlier, doing it in reverse order, working with the employers to understand their needs, and then going out and finding the workforce that you can provide them to fulfill those jobs. And I know this is just one of many success stories, because when we were back at your facility, there were some success stories up on the wall that I
Yes.
saw. And before I caught up with you today, I went to the website and looked, and I was amazed at the statistics that I saw there.
Well, we're really proud of our past performance. Again, it helps me know where the jobs are and where the careers are, but we were part of a gold standard workforce study about 5 years ago, and really the results of that study showed, one, programs like ours work, job training works, especially in a industry-led sector model. So the results that came out of that were our graduates were more likely to find jobs, more likely to keep their job, more likely to earn more money, and more likely to earn benefits, which we're very proud of.
So Earl, when you see a situation like this, Rashawn owning Hero Plumbing, getting into business on his own, does it make you proud?
Oh, I'm extremely proud. For one, it's someone else who's gone through, taken advantage of the opportunity, and now giving back, contributing to society through an economic development means, but then hiring individuals and then building things that we can all contribute. I like to eat, so it's gonna be fun going back to this restaurant. So
That's awesome. Well, it's been enlightening to me. I think it's a very valuable service you guys are providing. I appreciate you coming on and showing us the behind the scenes look at it.
well, thank you for highlighting us.
For years, industry and construction and management have felt a gap on how do they reach out to the consumer and the general public to get applicants to come to work for them. WRTP actually found a way to fill that need of recruiting people in and upgrading, evaluating, preparing them to enter into the workplace or into an apprenticeship. You don't just show up at a contractor or at the union hall and become an apprentice the next day. There's steps you have to take, and each craft is different. Ours is you have to take an aptitude test, you take an oral interview, and then you're placed on a rank list, and off the rank list you go into apprenticeship. Other trades and crafts have different criteria. WRTP Big Step understands and participates with all those apprenticeship programs and helps steer people in the right direction and prepares them so when they do get up to the place where they're going to apply for apprenticeship, they're ready for that and they know what to anticipate.
Well, Rashawn, here we are at the Welding Training Center out here at Plumbers 75.
Yeah, Stu, this brings back good memories here at the training center. I used to spend a lot of Saturdays here practicing welding. We knew the We Energy's powerhouse work was coming up, so I was one of the only welders that was a plumber, so I spent a lot of Saturdays here practicing welding.
Really? So as a plumber, you spent that much time on welding?
Yes, and this was like one of the sample of how the test would go. It's like a G6 position, and this test like all of the hand positions. So if this is where I would come if I wanted to go find a job right now, I would have to come here, start practicing welding again, go on the road welding on some industrial projects.
And if you wanted to get back into that field, this is where you would come back?
Oh yeah, if I wanted to go on the road doing industrial work, this is where I would start at.
And that's one of the advantages in my eyes of working with the trade unions, because if you did want to make that change and come back, they'd be willing to welcome you back in here and train you properly to go on the road.
That's the best asset, is the unlimited training capacity here. You can learn anything about your particular trade with the trade unions.
Well, we've known each other long enough. I don't think you're going anywhere too soon, because you own the company Hero Plumbing. And as I understand it, the WRTP Big Step really played an important role in you progressing through your life up to where you are now.
Yes, Big Step played the first role in starting my career as a plumber. That's where you have to go to increase your AccuPlacer testing skills. So in order to get an interview with the union, you have to first take a placement test, and if you don't have a high enough grade, you go back to Big Step for more training and passing the test.
So when you were a young man, you wanted to become a plumber. Did you know at that time you wanted to become a plumber?
Yes, I knew I wanted to become.
And they helped you with the placer test?
Yes, they help you with the placement test. And then after the placement test, once I was placed as an apprentice, I went back to Big Step to get more training.
Well, what I like to hear firsthand from you, you have to work. I mean, this isn't a free handout here that they're doing. They're providing lifelong skills to you, but you have to be a willing participant.
Oh yeah, apprenticeships work if you work. So just like I knew the powerhouse work was coming up, and I would come here on Saturdays and practice. So by the time the powerhouses came around, I had been practicing for years in anticipation of that work.
Oh, that's cool. And how's the work going for you? I know that we were just out at that restaurant, and a relatively small project there, but still, it was good work. Have you worked on some other things lately?
Oh yeah, that's a good example of a small project I would do, but one of the bigger projects was the police administration building. We replaced all of the plumbing stacks and the chases behind the walls there over the winter. And I've been doing 15 buildings in Waukesha. I've been doing a remodel there.
You also worked out at West Lawn, I know.
Oh yeah, we finished up West Lawn. Now we're just now getting done with the warranty work.
Rashawn, now in this room, a little more traditional plumbing, things I actually recognize.
Yeah, Stu, that shows how bathtub works, and that's how it shows how toilet drains. And then over here you have what you may not see. This is what a wall-hung toilet hangs on. So this is what's behind the back-to-back bathroom that you might see men's and women, and the toilet hangs from here.
Oh man. Have you enjoyed your time as a plumber and even your apprenticeship coming through Plumbers 75?
Yes, Plumbers 75 turned me from a apprentice or plumber's helper to a master plumber.
Really helped with your career path?
Yes.
Now, as owner of Hero Plumbing, when we talk about your business, how many employees do you have?
5.
5. Wow. Are they all trained here?
Yes, they're all trained here.
Do you find that to be important, having them trained at Plumbers 75? Because after all, this is where you were trained.
Yes, this is where all of the plumbers in this area get trained. This is the only place where I would trust that a plumber gets trained in the proper way.
So it's fair to say that they're on the same wavelength, same page as you, no matter what the size of the project is?
Yes, we would be on the same page. They should have at least the basic understanding of what's going on, even if they haven't seen the work. They may have never put in a carrier, but they've seen it in this setting.
Sure, and not only that, they can refer to you knowing that you've gone through the process. So if they have any questions, you probably help mentor them along the way too.
Yes.
Now, as a business owner, do you find there's a lot more paperwork than you first anticipated?
Oh yes, I'm running late to get home to do an estimate for East Side Library project. I'll be up to 12 o'clock tonight working on that.
And you know, a lot of people don't realize that, but you might not even get that job,
Yeah.
but you still have to put in the extra hours to get it done. And it's not, you know, really 9 to 5, you're out with your guys working on projects. It's the 5 to midnight that you're actually putting the rest of the paperwork to bed.
Oh yeah, something that you got to do to get work.
Well, it's been a fascinating journey. I really appreciate you coming on today's show and sharing your story with us.
Okay, thanks for having me again, Stu.
What I like most about my job is just being able to see the progress as I go. To be able to know that I did that and I did it correctly and it looks good, and have someone say, wow, you did that, or say to me, you're an apprentice, not a journeyman. And people are usually surprised to find that I am a third-year apprentice, and it's with the training I've been given, because I came in knowing nothing. And everything that I've had support through Local 75, my teachers, my journeymen, they've really set me up to feel confident, and if I have a question, I don't feel stupid asking it. Everyone's there to help you and guide you through learning the trade.
I love what I do, every day. I wouldn't come early or work as hard as I do if I didn't love it. I love building in general. I think it's so cool how all trades can come together and make something that people can go and work in every day and make an income off of what we built for them. Now, of course, I want to get to the top of the pay scale and be able to work with apprentices and teach people what I know, and maybe give other people a perspective of, yes, women can do this, and it doesn't take a man to be in a man's world. Women can do it too. You just have to work just as hard and not be afraid to get dirty.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.
Cut.